Warning: viewer discretion is advised. This channel and its content are not intended for anyone under 13 years of age. If you are under 13, please turn off this video. The following may contain material not suited for viewers under 13, such as coarse and suggestive language, tobacco, drug and/or alcohol references, simulated/fantasy violence, and adult situations. Additionally, this channel and its contents are not intended to be a replacement for proper parenting. Don't allow viewing habits to interfere with personal responsibilities and relationships. Constructive criticism is encouraged, making for better content. Jokes are jokes, albeit immature ones. Please watch responsibly. Thank you.
It's colossal, it's stupendous, it's conspicuously incredible! Hurry, step right up! Hey, Sonny, you wanna give it a try?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Conspicuously Incredible Gaming. I am your host, Mike. So, this is pretty much another session directly after the last one of Terraria. I think that one was 4, this one's going to be 5. I mean, I'm really just only numbering them to kind of keep them, separate or in chronological, but, between Terraria and Portal, and there might be a few others later on that come on down the line, these are kind of going to be fillers, and I need to try to figure out and find time and, to play something else. As I said, the next time I go live, I'm probably going to do Super Mario World, but I had enough time earlier, but then I went to sleep as soon as I stopped, and this area isn't the best for it. I was in an area the other day and was good for it, but then I slept, and then well, no, we kind of need you to move, because I can explain a little bit of that here in a minute, but anyway, let me go ahead and get right on into it. So yeah, in the, let me turn this down on my ear. So we got these awards every year for what they call Best of the Best, which is basically just, did you make all your deliveries on time? Did you not get any tickets? Did you not have any safety issues? Did you this, did you that, whatever? And there's 3 levels, platinum, gold, and I think silver. There's also the rising stars, which I don't know. I mean, maybe that's got to do with the people who ain't had a full year, and I don't know. I never really looked into that. Well, I found out I made platinum. I made top, best of the best this year, along with there's probably 20, 25, something like that. Others 20-ish. Oh, we're gonna have a banquet and this and that, and have a dinner for you guys and whatever, and do an awards ceremony thing. And okay. Well, she told me this before I went on home time for the 4th of July. I come back and everything, and I'm trying to bust ass to make money. I mean, quite honestly, I got taxes to pay. Sorry, Bunny. Quite honestly, I got taxes and stuff to pay. I have not paid them yet, which needs to be paid, and I had to buy a stove and everything for my house, and of course I spent a shitload of money, because I always do. When I get home, I spend a shitload of money on, me and my cousin go out to eat, I buy a bunch of groceries, hell, this last time I bought tools and everything for my place, and it was a shitload of tools. I think I bought some herbicide so I can kind of spray around areas where there was poison ivy and weeds and shit growing up around my place. I gotta talk to, actually, that reminds me, I gotta talk to them damn people. The landscapers, because they should have been mowing my shit, and they're not. I might have to find somebody else who will do it. I understand it's not the most desirable property to be mowing in the world, but, I mean, do you want money? Because that's how you make money. Like, I'll pay you a few extra dollars. I mean, if... So I gotta actually talk to him. But, damn it. So getting back to everything, I get back on the truck and everything, and it's been... I think she hit me up, like, Monday? The other morning? Maybe Sunday night, or... I think Monday morning, because that was when she was in. Did you put in a home time request? Which is basically a time off request. To get up to the terminal, the area, to go do that? I'm like, to be honest with you, I totally even forgot that that was a thing. You know, I'm trying to get back on the road, trying to make money, catch up from the week and a half I was off. You know, it really wasn't a big deal. Oh, well, we could try to get you there if you want to get there. And, well, this was one of the other guys I was talking to at the time. One of the other DMs, because she was either out on break or she was, I don't know. And I'm like, well, the thing is, it's not really that big of a deal to me. I mean, it would be nice to show up there, you know, because cool, you know. Get my reward, you know, award and whatever, but I mean, it's not like it's, you know, some big, you know, like with some people, it's, you know, like the Grammys or the Oscars or I don't know what the hell ever, you know, it's like, I've waited my whole life for this, and it's like, I like getting the award. I want to make sure that I know that I'm doing a good job, and I love the stickers that they give you to put on the side of your truck to prove that you do a good job. I got best of the best gold last year, or the year before now, 2019. So, on the side of my truck, there's on either side of my truck, because they give you two, one to put on either side, there's a big ass sticker, maybe about, I guess if you know, like you do the whole the diamond cutter thing, you know, like back in the day, nemoDaedalus, if you put two hands about like this, that's about how big the sticker is. And it says, Best of the Best Gold 2019. So I'd like to get the Best of the Best Platinum 2020 to put below that one, and kind of, I've seen a few trucks. I mean, they just got, you know, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. I mean, when you do a good job, you want to show it off. But I got a feeling, and this was the other thing that the other guy was like, well, you know, but I mean, you can show up and you know, they can, what was it? You can meet the other drivers and all this and that, you know? And I'm like, there's some places I go, I can't throw a handful of corn without hitting 5 of our other drivers. Like, if I wanted to talk to our other drivers, I would talk to our other drivers. Like, I'm never at a lack of opportunity to be talking to any of the other of us in our fleet. Like, that's not a thing. And then it's, oh, well, you know, do you want to, you know, dinner and whatever, and, you know, sit around and talk to a few people, have a few drinks? And I'm like, yeah, it's all well and good, but, you know, you don't know me very well. y'all don't, you guys know. They don't know Craig very well. I just put out that damn torch, didn't I? Yeah, they don't know Craig very well. When Craig gets going, Craig don't want to stop. But it's like, okay, so I'm going to have to turn around and be right back on the truck again. Probably by that evening or early that next morning. Do you really think I want to get back on this truck with a hangover? Do you really think you guys want me to get back on this truck with a hangover? And it's just, you know, trying to explain to them. And it's... Come on, no, we got... That's probably going to fall right through. Yep. I have no other... I mean, maybe I guess if I throw a rope up here. I don't know how much... It's a nice little vein of copper going on here, but... Oof. I need some light. And I fucked it all up. But it's just, to me, it's... Do I really want to go somewhere to talk to a bunch of people that I don't know, that I really don't care about? And like, you know, I get the whole, you know, oh, we're for drivers and we're trying to do this and we're trying to do that. And I get that for the most part. But this one dude we got in there, I don't even think he's been doing it every week anymore here lately, like the last, I don't know how many months. I don't know if people are even listening to his shit or what. I think he tries about once a month now to put something out, but... I don't give a fuck about really what he's talking about, because it's a bunch of, you know, the same corporate, we made this much money and we did this much, you know, and people, you know, and I thought that too. When I first got into certain companies, I'm like, why don't they share this information with us? You know, what the hell are they doing? What's going on? Then when you get in there and you realize that, you know, they're not really sharing any kind of like real information with you. But then that a lot of this, you know, ends up being, see how look how good we're doing because you guys have this and that and we thank you. And it's like, okay, well, a raise would be nice, a little bit of extra money, you know, maybe some extra benefits going on here, you know, like, oh no, sorry, we just can't do that. We're working on this and we're working on that and we're... But you said we were doing so good. Like, to me, it all just seems like, look how good we're doing. Now, don't question anything. Keep doing your job. Look, I'm apathetic and apoplectic with the whole damn thing when it comes down to really any work job, work site, work, you know, workplace. This place might be a little bit different, and the only reason why I'm kind of, you know, backing off a little bit now and going, you know, maybe... Come on, fucker. Is because, at least with this place, like, I'm not in the office or around the office or around the headquarters at all. Like, I'm just not. I'm out here out in the field, you know, as a saying would be going boots on the ground. I'm wheels on the ground. Out here, you know, doing what I've got to do to make my money. I don't really give a damn what's going on in that office. But the dude comes on like, you know, one every week or every couple, you know, every couple of weeks. It's like, I really don't want to hear it, dude. Like they took forever to change the music on the, I know this is a petty thing to be pissing and bitching about, but when you call into your dispatch and you got the hold music and everything, you know, they left that shit for like 6 months on the same damn shit. And now don't get me wrong. If this was the generic, you know, elevator music, please hold type stuff that you always hear, or, you know, that would be one thing. But they were actually using actual music, actual songs. And, you know, there's probably about 3 or 4 in rotation when they actually, if you're sitting on, you know, on hold for long enough, you can actually hear about like at least 3, if not 4 of them, depending. And there were ones like when it first started, it was like, I think it was Alan Jackson. Of course, I could be wrong. Drive, you know, Daddy Let Me Drive, that thing. There was you know, the theme from Convoy with you know, Jerry Reed. It all kind of has to somewhat do with trucking. I think no, Jerry Reed, because they also did that too, the Smokey and the Bandit. That was Jerry Reed. Convoy was I'll get it in a minute. Chris Christopherson. Why I know that's because my mom was a nut over Chris Christopherson. So it took me a slight second, but yeah, Chris Christopherson was the one that did Convoy and that whole thing. And Jerry Reed was the one that did the Bandit, you know, Smokey and the Bandit theme. Fuck. I was totally not even watching because I was running my mouth like I always do. So I'm coming for your ass now. Bye-bye, bunny. Bye-bye, bunny. So yeah, and I don't even know what these songs were. I just know now that I know them somewhat. I mean, one could have been a damn old Freddie Fender song, for all I know. I mean, at one point in time, they even did Rob Zombie's Dragula. It was like they left that shit on there for a while, and then Brad, you know, I don't want to really say his name, but, I mean, people who will know. It doesn't really matter anyway. I'm sure he's a nice person, just like a lot of the people that are working there and they're in that organization, but they want to act like, you know, what they're doing is some big, you know, they're really helping out people, and oh, you know, we're here for our drivers and this and that, and then it's just a bunch of oof. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, I'm fucked. Yep, I'm fucked. I need to be working on that, figuring out what the hell's going on with that. Because there's some nice stuff down here I could probably get if I drain them damn holes. Alright. But, and now don't get me wrong, I understand people got their causes, and I understand people got the things that they like, and, you know, but we just... We live in a society where people get more... Certain people get more attention and more consideration and more fawning over than others. And yet the same ones who get this fawning over and this, oh, you know, poor baby, please help me, you know, they're the ones that bitch and whine about wanting equality. But then when it comes down to actually getting equality and having everybody's point of view equally represented and everybody's, you know, concerns and everything addressed, then it's all of a sudden, oh no, you know, we can't do that. You've been on top for so long, fuck you. You know, and I thought discriminating against people based on religion and sex and race and all that was wrong. And yet these people are still doing the same damn shit that they've accused other people of in the name of making it right for people who have, they claim, have been wronged. I mean, don't we have that saying, you know, two wrongs don't make a right? Like, you know, not to mention the ones that they claim who are doing the oppressing have tried their damnedest over the, you know, over the ages to make things better. And, like, the people doing the oppressing damn sure weren't the ones that started a lot of this shit, but they damn sure were the ones that did what they could to end it. All this, you know, oppression and everything is still going on in the world today. In countries with people who have skin colors and religious beliefs and all that that they claim are so badly oppressed. And yet you look hard enough and these countries, you know, these countries and these people in these countries are the ones doing the oppressing. Just for the most part, people are fucking stupid. They can't see what's in front of them. I don't know, but anyway, a long rant to basically turn around and say, look, they had this woman on for, I don't know, 20 minutes, and they put most of the conversation up on the hold music so you can hear it. Like, if I really wanted to hear dude talk about the state of the company, I would have gone to the thing in our app or to the website or whatever and would have listened to him. If I wanted to hear what this dude had to say, I would have tuned in to him specifically. I did not. Oh, we got this new truck and we put this wrap on and this for, you know, and look. I get people got their causes. We've got a handful of drivers in our fleet that's got the truck wrapped with, you know, different, there's decals and there's, you know, wraps of, well, for the veterans, for the camo. Sometimes I got the, whatever you want to call it, like the digital camo where you got the stand, you know, the traditional kind of, you know, rounded edges camo where they got the, I don't know what the hell they call it. I was not a serviceman. I don't know what the hell it's called. But there's the different types of camo, and some of them have, excuse me, damn it. But, you know, and the veterans, and I get that. And I also get that, you know, the whole breast cancer awareness thing. While you're going, oh shit, here he goes. Look, I had several of my female family members pass away from breast cancer. I think it's horrible. But I've also heard a lot of stuff too that a lot of people don't know or don't want to look into or don't care about. Like, how long is this one organization? We all know the organization, the Pink Ribbon. We all know that organization. How long have they been around? I would say at least 20 years, if not more. And how have we not gotten any closer to figuring out what could be causing this? What, you know... So still the only best course of action is to cut them off and to pump the woman with all this radioactive material in the name of chemotherapy. And I mean, just asking for a friend, you know? Like, I've heard shit about that organization where, you know, they skim everything off the top, and you're lucky if 10% of that actually goes to the clinics and the scientists and the people that they say it should go to, you know, to cure the thing that the whole organization was built around fighting in the first place. I've got nothing wrong against people having their causes. What I have anything wrong with is people misappropriating the funds, people building shit up to be such, you know, a massive trauma, a massive heartache, and then never doing anything about it. And so, you know, it's we got this new truck, and, you know, this woman's driving it, and it's all wrapped with the breast cancer awareness, you know, all the wraps, and oh, it looks good, and all this and all that, and, you know, many people, and I'm like, at any one point in time, did anybody ever decide maybe they want to wrap a truck in blue and do a prostate cancer awareness or testicular cancer awareness truck? Because you do know that prostate and testicular cancer affects just as many men as breast cancer does women, and yet, especially prostate cancer. Prostate cancer kills way more often than breast cancer does. So even though you may have the same amount of cases, you know, per capita, per, you know, whatever, men get killed by testicular, or by, at least by prostate cancer, way more than women get killed by breast cancer. I mean, with a breast cancer and everything, you can cut the mammary off, you can do this, and I mean, my grandma had it. And I was sad to say, you know, my grandma had it. She had one of hers removed. She had her right one removed. But also the big problem was too, though, that I don't know if they didn't catch it early enough. It spread to her ribs, which then spread to her spine, which then spread up her spine and went right to her brain. It's tragic. I mean, I think even in the one breast reduction, or with the one removal that they did, they removed a rib or two, and they still didn't catch it. And, like, you know, I think that's bad, but fuck. I've also heard a lot of stuff too, like, you know, well, they didn't live in a generation where, you know, and I mean some of these other women too in my family, they were a little bit too old to be having cell phones and to be having them, like, these were the type of women that if they did have cell phones back in the early 2000s, my grandma passed away in 07. I had another aunt, which is actually my grandma's sister, but she was the baby's sister, actually. She passed away at like 47 something, 40 something. Maybe 52, so I don't know. She got breast cancer and everything. She, some people say it's the cell phones and all that, and I'll agree to a certain point. I mean, look, when I was with the girlfriends I was with, I don't know how in the hell I didn't have kids with them. Because I'll be fucking honest with you. I didn't do a damn... I was stupid. I didn't do a damn thing to try to prevent that from happening. At the same time, I don't know how in the hell I ended up not having kids. Maybe it's because of all those years of leaving a cell phone in my pocket. I know the first girlfriend I had from about... Well, when I got the phone in 2003, the beginning of 2003, I bought the whole dealie to clip it onto your belt and kind of have it hanging off there. And then 2004, when I was able to upgrade and get a new one, back before you were only under a year contract. 2004 to about 2005. I had this one and I kept it in my pocket. I kept it in that little, you know how jeans and everything are. They got that little pocket on the right side, that little bitty mini pocket. And I kept that phone in there for a year and something. Then that phone took a shit on me, mainly because, I don't know, I think it was just because it was in my pocket and it was sweating and everything, and maybe it short-circuited some shit out. But, I had to go back to that other phone for a little while. Then I got another phone, my first camera phone, back in 05. It wasn't even a name brand, it was a cheap shit one. And I had that on a clip on my belt or on my pocket for the longest damn time, for 2 years. Like, yeah, about almost 2.5 years. And then I ended up getting another one, and I put that one right in my pocket the same way as I had it before. And I rode that shit out, 7, 8, 9? Okay, so yeah, it was about 2 years and I got another one. It was a Windows phone. It was the Samsung Omnia. I thought that phone was pretty alright, but it was only about that year or right around, well, the iPhone had done been out, I think, since 07. And the Android come out in, I think, 09. I don't know. I opted for the Windows phone. One, because I'm okay with Windows. And two, it's like, maybe it'll be compatible with the shit I got, which it kind of was for the most part. What I liked about it was that it had Windows Media Player built in. It had a version of Windows Media Player. And the Windows Media Player that I had on my computer, I can make all these playlists and do all this and that stuff and everything with it. And then just sync it over to my phone, and it would sync all the songs and all the playlists. And like, I didn't have to worry about all this other shit. It did great. And I used that phone from 2009? Toward the end of 2009? To about the end of 2012? Yeah, to about the end of 2012. when I got my first Android phone, it was a Droid 4, and I loved it. I loved that pop-out keyboard and all that. But it started fucking up on me and everything after a year and something, so I traded it back in. Well, I had them replace it. So I got another Droid 4 back in my hand. This is the funny part. From 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, to 17, I rode that same phone for 5 years. I'd have it in my pocket and everything, in my back pocket sometimes. I'd have it, whatever. But by the time, 13 came along, the whole shit with, trying to find a relationship and all that went under. I don't even keep the phone on me anymore. It's either on my mount or it's beside me here, about, a foot and a half away from my right side. So, there might be something to be said. The first girlfriend, she had that depot shot or whatever, so that may have, I heard that takes a year or something for that to clear out your system, so, that could have been the reason why her and I didn't have a kid either. We split up in the end, toward the end of 07, and it took her till the end of 09, I think, to even get pregnant, so who the fuck knows? And the other one I dated, she was on birth control, but she was, because she got into a car accident before, just as she met me, basically, like when we first started exchanging messages on the dating app, eHarmony, basically. It was like the weekend after we had started talking and messaging, all of a sudden she gets in this car accident, which, hey, what do? I've seen the pictures. I might even still fucking have them somewhere or another, stashed on a old hard drive or on something. That dude did ram her right in the ass. She got ass-ended in the middle of damn Main Street in Erie, Pennsylvania, right almost in front of the firehouse where she was a volunteer firefighter for. So, But then the doctor was all like, oh, well, these, medicines or whatever we're putting you on, these painkillers, this different stuff like that, could negate some of the effects of the birth control. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, that's great. She was on birth control. I saw her. She had this shit. I saw it. She was taking it. I hate to, whatever, but I had to do what I had to do. There was times where she would, have to go off or whatever to do what she had to do, and I'd have to sit at her place for a little while, waiting for she to come back. And I knew where she kept her birth control. She kept it right there, basically in her, I guess as you would call it, the dining room or the kitchen table. It was one of these tables, and it had a little, it was a pretty sturdy table and everything, but it had a little bitty, drawer in the middle of it, and that's where she kept a lot of different shit, and that's where she kept her shit. She kept it right there in the kitchen table. I didn't even have to dig through a purse, or she didn't even carry a fucking purse as far as I remember. I think she carried a nice big wallet, but she didn't even carry a purse as far as I remember. And so it was there for me and fucking everybody else to see if they knew where it was at. She was taking her, at least she was popping the shit out and, of the container. Whether or not she was taking it or not, pretty sure she was taking it, but Who the fuck knows? All I know is it was missing out of the container for the day that it was supposed to be out of the container. Everything was current when you open up that container and looked at it. So whether or not she was taking it or not, you know. Unlike my sister, who would have got a prescription and forget to take it for fucking a week or so, and they go, oh yeah, by the way, I need to take this. And like, at least this girl, it looked like she was trying, but she was also, oh, the medicine they put me on, it may not work. I may need a bigger dose of this because of this and that. And to be honest, I'm hoping not, but that's the only one that I'm kind of like, maybe I could have a child with. Alright, but look, I'm probably full of Asperger's and piss and vinegar and fucking whatever. Look, the thing is, the dude kept on and on in that podcast and that whatever that they had to put up on damn, you know, on the hold message for everybody to have to hear. Oh, we did this and we did that with the wraps on this truck. And I'm like, you know, what about testicular cancer? What about this and what about that? And it just pissed me off that nobody ever gives a fuck. And the only reason why anybody really ever gives a fuck about veterans and whatever like that too is because, you know, there are a lot of women married to them. There are a lot of, you know, a lot of times in this society, the only time we really give a fuck about men is when they're, you know, in absolute service to women, so. But it was that type of shit that just pissed me off. Like, okay, so where is our, you know, testicular cancer awareness truck? Where's this and that? It was just one of those things that just started pissing me off real badly to hear the dude fucking whinge on about. And I mean, he was sucking up to this woman like bad, and like, as of the time and date of this recording, 6:54 p.m., Wednesday the 21st of July, 2021, I'm probably about I'm probably about 6 days shy of my first day 3 years ago. You know, as far as an anniversary goes. This was only, you know, like 3, 4, 5 months ago, something like that. So it was, you know, I'm just sitting there and I'm hearing, you know, like all this and that shit too going on with this woman. And it's like, she's only got like 5, 6, 7 months, maybe not even, maybe a year, maybe not even a year. I'm sitting there thinking, you know, I've been here almost 3 years, 3.5 years, or not 3.5, you know, 2.5, almost 3 years. You don't think that there might be a cause or a thing that I would maybe want to promote? Like, and we got dudes, you know, been here 5, 10, 15. I think there's like 2 people here been here 20, 25 years at this company. It's like, did you not maybe bother to ask them to see if, you know, they would want something for a cause that they might like? Look, like I said, I get the veterans who do all this and that, and they want their own, you know, their stuff on their truck, and they, you know, I get that too. And I'm all up for people having what they want on their vehicles, as long as you're lease purchasing or you own it. I mean, you know, I'm lease purchase. I might not be able to buy this truck because I might not be able to make the balloon payment, but I am doing lease purchase. technically I should have more control over this truck than the average company driver should. I got like 4 Hatsune Miku stickers on each side of my truck, and of course I've got my, and I really ain't finished yet as far as, but I got a few stickers inside. I got some stickers up over the doors in the front of the cab. They're a little bit lewd. That's why they have to be inside the vehicle and not outside the vehicle. They're not, they're lewd, but they're risque. They're not lewd, they're risque, I guess, if you want to call it. Or, I guess as the Japanese call it, like ecchi, like, It's a panty shot from behind is basically what it is, and it's shaped in it's modeled after like the warning stickers of, warning, this machinery is under high pressure, don't do this, don't, like, it's basically like this vehicle is equipped with twin turbos, it is highly advised that women take their panties off for safety, and blah blah. It's a cute little tongue-in-cheek joke, and the picture on the side of it, instead of like the little man slipping, or the dude getting his fingers whacked off or whatever. What the shit? It's still going. Oh. Because I had to hit something else that wasn't something else. Fuck you, Streamlabs. Fuck you right in your dirty asshole. But instead of like the little guy slipping, or the poor crushed hand, with like the 2-3 fingers like flying off in the gear, it's basically from behind a butt shot, a kind of a panty shot of Hatsune Miku's, turquoise and gray and white striped, pantsuit, or what the fuck? No, there's a name for that. There's Shimapan. It's the sexy, colored striped underwear. And she's bent over forward just enough so you can see some outlines of some stuff, and it's, it's very tongue-in-cheek, but it's supposed to be my goddamn truck. I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do with it. My whole thing is, why don't, why have I never heard any kind of duck? Ooh, 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 ooh. Bye-bye, duck. Come on, I could have had duckling all orange for what that shit was worth. You're an asshole. Yes, I am. So my point is that I've never heard them talk about or ask about or any other, they never put like a coverall message over, our fleet system or whatever. They never put anything like that over anything saying, hey, we're wanting to put decals on trucks, Is there a cause or whatever, or a thing you'd be willing to have put on your truck? We could have a custom wrap done for you, for your vehicle. Nothing like that. Because, I would do something like, men's rights, father's rights. I kind of look at the whole autism thing the same way as I look at, the whole cancer thing, because I've seen, don't ask me why. I've gotten back on fucking Facebook to connect with a few of my direct family members and different things like that, just to kind of, you know, whatever. And a few of them I've had to block their fucking posts because I'm tired of the drivel that they fucking put out. But this one is like, oh, look at my boy, and he's autistic, and I'm an autistic boy mom, and one, that's not really a thing we should be celebrating. Two, the awareness, again, is like with the breast cancer. What's fucking causing it? I forgot to say, my grandmother, one of my aunts, the one that died real early, the baby one. I think it was actually my aunt, my cousin, Travis, his mom. She didn't die of the breast cancer. But, you know, there was some other things that took her before the breast cancer actually did. Or I think maybe she was like getting close to beating the breast cancer, but she had breast cancer, but there were other things that came up. What did they all have in common? Every single one of them that I ever remember loved to not only dye their hair, but perm their hair. Now, my aunt, you know, my cousin's mom, I don't remember so much of the perm. She did like to keep it kind of, you know, like loose and curly and whatever, but she did, you know, she did dye it a lot, I'm pretty sure. My grandmother always had the curly, tight perm. My other aunt always had that curly, always had that perm. Always had that, you know, curly, the locks, always had the perm. Every single fucking one of them ended up with breast cancer. I got another aunt that did that with the really tight perm. The really, I don't know, like the chemical you pour on your head, and you don't even have to use the rollers because your hair ain't even damn long enough, and it just crinkles up on its own. And always had it dyed, you know. She died with a tumor coming out of the fucking top of her head. Maybe we shouldn't be pouring shit chemicals on the tops of our fucking heads. Anybody? Pink ribbon campaign that's been around for 20, 25, 30 some years. You ain't thought of this? Oh no, sorry. Women gotta have their beauty products. It can't be that. Like, I've looked into a lot of this stuff. I mean, a lot of cancers are viral. And people don't know or don't realize, oh, poor Bunny, he's in the hole, drowning. It's just, when you know certain things and you've seen certain things in your life, and you know that not everything is as it seems to be. Things like that kind of piss you off. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, things like that just kind of piss me off. I mean, why couldn't they talk about... I've never heard of anybody, if there's any causes or whatever... put in for a raffle, or put in for, this or that or the fucking third, a raffle, a contest, whatever. We're gonna wrap a couple, handful of trucks in our fleet with whatever causes, and we're gonna do a breast cancer awareness one, and we're gonna do this and that one, what other causes can we get behind and do this and that? I ain't heard nothing. I said, we could do testicular cancer. We could do fucking child abuse awareness. We can do all kinds of different shit. Hell, I mean... we could do a lot of shit for waifus if you really want to, I'd put in for something like that too, Just have the truck covered from fucking, tip to fucking tail and goddamn anime girls and, save the waifus, but like nothing of that caliber. When, like I said, when the one thing he said that really pissed me off real bad too was, it's just, you know, we're still trying to like expand and you know, spread awareness. Like, everybody ain't changed their fucking logos to pink, and the NFL and the NHL and the NBA and the fucking whatever the fuck ain't changed their socks and shirts and this and that, whatever the fucking pink. The wrestlers on goddamn, you know, professional wrestling on TV ain't fucking changed their goddamn, like, you know, like for 20, 30 some years, we ain't known breast cancer was a thing. But I guarantee you most people out there don't know that fucking, you know, per case, per capita, you know, per case, prostate cancer kills more men than breast cancer does women. On a case-by-case basis. But no, we know. You know, we don't give a fuck about them. We don't give a fuck about our dads and our fathers and our brothers and our grandfathers and our uncles, and you know, we don't give a fuck about them. You know, them bastards with their rotten balls can go to hell. It's just things like that that piss me off. Like, you know, heading into no man's land now. Oh, I think I remember the last time I was here, I didn't have enough rope. Oof. Like, people get mad at me for asking questions. Like, seriously, here recently, I've had people mad at me for asking questions. I ain't gonna say who and what, because it's not my purview to, you know, put somebody out on the spot like that. If this person sees this, they know exactly what the, you know, what and who I'm talking about. So another family member had been involved in some domestic violence shit, right? The fuck did... And this was several years ago. This was about 3-4 years ago, you know. And, you know, this was an army-based situation, so, you know. I don't know how the dynamics go specifically as far as all that. But I know that a lot of servicemen, the men, they have a whole hell of a lot of a higher divorce rate and suicide rate and all that shit than your regular civilian. So, you know, take that for what it is. So apparently this girl, and they just had a kid. And I understand there's a lot of stress that goes on. Like, I am not completely, totally, you know, fucking ignorant when it comes down to people and their situation and this and that. I'm starting to head into fucking no man's land on this shit, man. Them motherfuckers, them soul eaters or whatever the fucking... After my ass like fucking hell. Over them, yeah. So, you know. So apparently what had happened was that sometime right directly after the kid was born, and like I said, I don't know the exact situation. I really don't know where. Apparently it was in their own fucking place. Apparently it was either their own bed or I don't know. I don't know where she was. I don't know a lot of this shit. All I know is that she caught him in the act of cheating. I mean, dead middle, mid-stroke, basically. And when dude got caught and got confronted, he basically started talking with his fists and tooled her up, tooled the shit out of her. I don't find that, all that good of a thing to be doing. I mean, that's kind of a bitch move. You get caught on something and the first thing you want to damn do is start swinging fists on people. You fucked up, own up to it. But as I was talking to this person about the person that they were talking to me about, I'm trying to keep this, clinical. The only problem is the person that I know of is subscribed to me, and we've had this conversation, and I don't want to air their business out on everywhere, but I gotta kind of use it as a prime example of what I'm talking about. And so I asked this person, okay, I understand that the dude tooled her up, and he shouldn't have tooled her up. And why was he tooling her up, Oh, well, she caught him cheating dead mid-act. Okay, well, alright. I mean, shouldn't have been happening, you're right. Neither one of it should have happened. He shouldn't have been cheating. He shouldn't have tooled her up. I get it. I said, but alright. Why do you think that man felt the need to cheat? Because if he had such a good woman at home, why would he be wanting to cheat? Well, that's kind of fucked up to say, man. Yeah, he was supposed to be with her, and he was supposed to this, and he was supposed to... Okay, I get that. I get that. But, when you're with somebody and everything, when you're with somebody, why are you not treating them with enough respect or enough dignity or enough whatever the hell it's going to take in order to keep them around, to keep them from wanting to cheat on you? Because obviously there was something going on that made that man just want to cheat. I said, and also the thing is, oh, but he did this and he did, okay. I said, but ass whoopings don't just fall from the sky, like, what else was going on in that? I need to know what was going on in that relationship before I can sit here and make any kind of a judgment on any one given person, because, yes, The dude was in the wrong for tooling her up. The dude was in the wrong for wanting to be physically aggressive. The dude was in the wrong for wanting to cheat on his wife that he just had a kid with. Like, the kid was only, you know, maybe a couple of weeks old, you know, a month or something old. But I said, the thing is, you have to think. You can't just all of a sudden, oh, well, this person did that and that person did this, and therefore this is that. No. Why did the dude want to cheat? Well, I don't know. I said, well, how long was it since she had the kid that, you know, and this is where it's going to piss a lot of people off. But I will rebut on that because, you know, I do believe in equality as far as, you know, you're going to blame one or you're going to put one whatever on one and one person on the other. But I said, okay, so he's like, well, she just had a kid. Well, you know, you know that when you have a kid, there's like some damage and there's this and there's that and whatever. So does that exclude her from touching him at all? Like, this is exactly what I told the person, you know. Her hands weren't broke. Her mouth wasn't broke. Like, I know that's being an asshole of me, you know, for some people to, oh, you shouldn't expect her to this and that, but, you know, alright, let's just put it this way. If for some weird, wild fucking reason, dude broke his fucking dick and couldn't perform for 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month and a half, that dude should be getting on his knees and nom 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 nom, you know. So I'm not, you know, I'm not saying this because of, you know, sexism, this and that. What I'm saying is that you're supposed to be with somebody. You're supposed to be with somebody in a romantical sense, in a romantic, you know. God damn it! Fucking, that would have been nice to grab them too, but whatever. This is where everybody loses their shit when we go, oh, well, you know, it only goes one way, you know, men this and men that, but, you know, women this and women that. I'm like, look, I understand she had a kid. I understand things aren't quite healed up there. But her hands weren't broke. Her mouth wasn't broke. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you don't want a motherfucker to stray off and, you know, get his itch scratched somewhere else, so to speak, I think you need to be stopping him about, you know, 20 minutes before he leaves the house and going, hey, wait a minute here, you know, come here. Let me take care of this. And it's the same way with dudes. Like, if for some reason you broke your junk, well, I mean, your hands ain't broke, your mouth ain't broke. You know, dude, get down there and fucking handle business. Because if not, she'll find somebody else that will. And this is just the way it is in this day and age. But see, I got told that I hate women, and I'm a misogynist, and I'm just backwards in my thinking, and you hate women. You know, you hate women. You just hate women. Why is it that I hate women? I asked the person directly. Why is it that I hate women? Why do you think that I hate women? Well, it's because everything I say about that specific situation and about anything, you always turn around and blame it on the woman. I said, I never turned around and blamed it on her. I said, you're the one that's acting like she had no part at all to do with this. You're acting like with hardly any evidence, with hardly anything on hearsay, he did all the bad and she did all the good. And I'm trying to sit here and tell you that you only know the part of the story you were told. well, I know for sure that he hit her, and I've seen the pictures, and I did this, and I... Did I ever say that he never laid a hand on her? No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, I kind of believe he did lay a hand on her. But you have to ask those questions. What would make a man that have a kid with a woman that's apparently loves him and is married with him and this, that, and the fucking... What would make a person want to lay hands on somebody? Like, you only know what happened in that, 20 minutes, maybe an hour of that day? You don't know what happened in the other 23 hours. You only know what... Like I said, do you know what happened, or do you only know what she told you happened? But because I like to ask questions, and, I like to know both sides of the story, and I like to, get all the information that I'm possible, that's why I'm an asshole. That's why I used to get my ass beat as a kid. One of the main reasons why I used to get my ass beat as a kid a lot of times is because I couldn't stop asking questions. You don't ask questions. You're the child and we're the parent, and you do whatever the fuck we tell you to do. That's why I got my ass beat as a kid all the time. It wasn't that I misbehaved. It wasn't that I was a bad kid. It wasn't that I used to tear hell off the hinges and fucking have the whole neighborhood up in an uproar about my behavior. It was because I asked questions, and I stopped and waited and didn't do shit when I was just blindly told to do shit, because it's like, hey, why am I doing this thing? Why, what's the purpose behind this? That's why I would get my ass beat as a kid, because I used to ask too many questions. Because I wasn't about to do a goddamn thing until I knew what it was I was doing and why I was doing it and what benefit it had to this and that person. And, not even that. I wanted to know all the information that I should have or thought I needed to know so I can do the job right the first time, so that I'm not getting my ass beat after doing the job for not doing a good job on a job that I should have known, apparently in their eyes, how to do right the first time. But I'm an asshole. It's like, okay, fine. I'll be an asshole. It's like people nowadays with the whole, you can't say women are supposed to be barefoot and pregnant and, I never said that. I never advocated for that at all whatsoever. I always advocated that people had their specific job to do in a relationship. And if it meant for a woman to be home cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids, then that's what it meant. Now, if she was out making all this money and she had the career and she had this and she had that, I don't see why not. I don't see why not the man can't, motherfucker bum rushed me like something stupid. My ex-girlfriend played that shit. Well, I didn't come here to be your maid. I'm like, what'd you come here for then? Look, I get that, you know, you ain't got a job and you're on disability and, you know, what the fuck one thing after another, but, you know, like, I work for my money. I work for my living. You know, how fair is it? And you women would, you know, some of these women and everything would not put up with that shit either if that's the way it was. Or that's the way they thought it was. Come on, run out here. I don't need damn... Let me fill this in and hopefully this will... get rid of a lot of that water. No, I still gotta... There we go. But, you know, the girl I was with back in, 14, 15 years ago, I worked. I mean, yeah, okay, it was 8 hours a day. It was 45 hours a week, fucking blah, blah, blah. You know, it was a standard, do your work and go home job. I shouldn't have to do this, and I shouldn't have to do that. You're here all day by yourself, I worked evening shift. I didn't work graveyard shift. When I first started with that job, I worked graveyard shift, and then they wanted somebody to take over this and that, and then it didn't work out because I know they were gunning for me. When you hear statements like, "Oh, wow, this is the first guy we've had in the quality control department, in the QC department, other than the head of, this is the first QC inspector that was a male that we've had in this department in like 15, 20 years. You know they're gunning for your shit. You know they don't fucking like you. You know they're, trying to protect their own. I'm sorry. They watched me like a hawk and let me fuck up one time on a job I wasn't even doing QC on. And they stripped me of everything because of one little fuck up on one fucking job on one night that, somebody happened to be fucking looking. Matter of fact, the one bitch that fucking had to say that shit in the first place. So, if that tells you anything. But it's like, so I go out all day long. I work evening shift. So my shift starts at 4 o'clock. Ends at midnight. So that's 8 hours. So I leave the house here about, I get up at 2. Or was supposed to get up at 2, sometimes it was 2:30. But, leave the house about 3:15, sometimes 3:30 if I really wanted to push it. I only work 3 miles, 3.5, 4 miles away from work. So, I mean, I used to be able to, there was a couple of times I would make, throw a bunch of shit in the crock pot when I got home in the morning or before I went to bed. Throw a bunch of shit in the crock pot, close it up, turn it on, whatever, and then take off to go to work. By the time lunchtime came around, I had enough time to run to work, run from work to the house, fill up a bowl of whatever I had in that crock pot, put it in the bag and everything, get back in the car, go back to work, and still had about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes or whatever to eat it. I lived that close to work, So I would leave the house, I'd try to leave the house about 3:30. Because like I said, I get up about 2:30. Well, see, I come in about, a couple minutes after 12. Maybe 12:15 at the very, very latest. And that was a rare occasion. So from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. 2 o'clock is when I should have been up. I tried to get in bed at 6 o'clock. So I can get up at 2 o'clock. Screw around for an hour or so, get in a shower, doing whatever I had to do, make something for lunch. Hell, before the girl was with me, I'd leave at like 3. I'd be at that day. I'd be at work at like 3:15, 3:20, sitting and waiting, until our damn shift started. She sat at home the whole time when she was there, playing Final Fantasy XI, dicking around on the fucking phone that I gave her, this and that. Come to find out, in her words to other people, I was nothing but a dick, and I didn't care about her, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do that, and, I had to come home after working all that shit at like midnight, 10 after midnight by the time I maybe got home. And that was depending. Sometimes I get home right, 5 minutes after. Depending on how quick I was able to get out of there. And, there was a couple times I had to train a few people, There were a couple of days I had to train a few people. There were a couple days on a couple of jobs where I would get there and the dude would come in when he needed to get in. And I'm like, look, dude, this job's been kind of a pain in the ass. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know why they put you on this. Please don't get mad at me because you're taking over for me because I didn't put you here. But this is what you're going to have to deal with. And because it's been so bad and so tight with a lot of things, I've been lucky if I've been able to do a lot of the stuff that I needed to do during my own shift. So I would sit with the guy for, 5-10 minutes after my shift to show him what he needed to do. Show him how to do this and that and whatever in the process. And once I thought he got it down pretty well, I would still have to spend another 5 minutes or so sweeping up the area because I wasn't able to sweep it while I was working, or making him extra boxes and stuff so he can package his product in. It was a lot of times. There was a few times I left out of there like 20 minutes after my shift, did not get paid for it at all. Come pouring in at the house, 20, 25 minutes after midnight. Oh my God, where were you? What was going on? Maybe did this and that. So I had to train the guy and teach him how to do whatever, because sometimes that has to happen. Oh my God, and this and that. But, she's at home by herself all day. And yet, to expect dinner to get done or dinner to be, kind of on the make. And I knew this. Fuck. Fuck. Now look, if she had had her own job, had a place of business that she went to every day and worked and brought home a paycheck, and I'm not talking about a government paycheck that came in the mail or got direct deposited every fucking, every month, then I would have been like, okay, maybe I'll make dinner this night and you make dinner this night, and when you make dinner, I'll wash the dishes, and when I make dinner, you wash the dishes. There was never anything like that. There was just always, you have to do what I want you to do, and you have to fulfill your end of the bargain, but I ain't gonna do shit. I even tried to teach her how to cook. I had her sit with me, and look, I'm not expecting gourmet meal. I'm not even expecting, because I know how to cook. I mean, I'm nowhere near goddamn Gordon Ramsay. Don't get me wrong. With a little bit of practice, I could get fucking, I could maybe fucking touch the laces on his fucking shoes. Because I follow directions and I know how stuff works. I can never be as good as that motherfucker. Maybe, like I said, maybe I can get close enough to touch his shoelaces. But I don't even expect for my woman, for her to be able to cook as good as me. Just make something that I can fucking eat when I come home. Like, it just, what was fucked up was, after she left, I found out because I was an asshole and had to look on her face or MySpace at the fuck. Damn it. I was an asshole and had to look on her MySpace at the time. That tells you how long ago that goddamn was. And dude on there, oh, she always makes the best pork chops, which was her favorite meal, was pork chops. But she didn't know how to make them. And and I got with her one day and I told her, I said, come in here with me. What's going on? What do you mean? Come in here with me. I want to show you something. What the fuck you want to come in here for? I said, because I want to show you this is your favorite meal that you like in the whole entire goddamn world. God damn it. It's still raining motherfuckers out here. I gotta get them damn stars. I said, look, this is your favorite meal in the whole entire world. Wouldn't you like to know how to make it? I mean, I'm just wondering, would you like to know, how it's made? Wouldn't you like to know, Oh, I guess, okay. And, the cheapest cuts of pork chops are always the ones with the bone in. They always have been. They always will. Any cut of meat that's got the bone in it will always be less expensive than the ones with the bones in them. Because, you gotta pay the people to fucking take the bones out. That's why your boneless wings at your, sports bars and all that will always be more than your boneless, your bone-in wings, your classic wings. Mainly because, all your boneless wings are basically just pieces of chicken breast fucking cut up and, whatnot. Whatever. But, so I showed her, and this is what my mom told me, my grandparents told me, any cut of meat that you get, for the most part, especially pork chops, but even steaks, if you've got a steak that's got the bone in, and it's been cut like that, you always want to wash it first, or you're going to get the bone shards on your meat. Because the saws and the cutting shit, when they slice the meat, because they basically, when they do a whole, basically like a whole half a damn hog, when they cut bone-in pork chops, bone out or boneless pork chops or whatever, just basically center cut tenderloin. I mean, they already cut the tenderloin out, then they just slice the tenderloin. The rest of the pork, you got the whole loin and the whole side, and it's got to be sliced up on a slicer. And all that, the saws, the whatever that's got to cut that bone up has got the meat, they've got the bone in it. So you've got to basically wash the bone shards off of the meat. I didn't know you had to do that. Well, that's why I'm telling you, is because when you got a whole side of pork like that and you got to slice it up, you're going to have bone shards come off of the bones because, of course, you're cutting through bone. You got to chop with a bone in it. Okay, well, what's next? I say, well, once you wash, rinse them off and everything, and you lay them on your pan, and you season them, whatever, your salt and your pepper, whatever this and that, that you want on it. And I said, but for the most part, at least as far as what I remember, well, my mom's always taught me was that it's always ground cloves. You sprinkle a little ground clove over pork chops, over pork, at least pork chops. Why are you putting that on there? So this is the one thing that makes pork chops taste like fucking pork chops, is ground clove. I don't know if you've ever known this, or you've ever bothered to whatever, but ground clove is what makes pork chops taste like pork chops. At least to me, anyway. To me and everybody I've ever known. Now, my mom used to do a little Worcestershire or Worcestershire, or however you want to pronounce it. I had a dude in fucking high school. It's not Worcestershire, it's pronounced Worcestershire. Look how it's spelled. Okay, Todd, whatever. Everybody calls it Worcestershire. Even though it's spelled Worcestershire, and I'll agree with you that it's spelled Worcestershire, but that's not how people say it. Usually, she used to use that and a little bit of Worcestershire and a little bit of shake a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of soy, a little bit of Worcestershire, some ground clove, a little pepper, might have been some seasoning, salt, whatever, but, I'm starting to shake a lot of this stuff. What are you putting that on there for? What are you doing that for? What are you putting this on here for? I said, this is the shit that makes pork chops taste like pork chops. Oh, why are you putting all that shit? I don't want all that shit on there for. So I made this shit and told her, I said, alright, you got all this shit on this pan here, on this, this sheet on this pan. So about as how thick as they are, you want about 350, maybe 375. For, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes. I mean, that's going to make sure that they're cooked. And while you're doing that, you can either be making your pork chops, or I mean, not your pork chops, your mashed potatoes, your, I like my pork chops with mashed potatoes and peas and carrots. Or every now and again, I'll settle for a green bean and the little baby potato mix. Basically, you can fry a couple of pork chops or whatever up in a frying pan, and then you take all the drippings from the frying pan and throw the little can of green beans, a little can of them little whole baby potatoes, and then saute them up, stir them up in the drippings of the pork chops. And that shit's good too. And all you need is your pork chop or two, and your big helping of green beans and your baby potatoes, and you got your starch, your vegetable, and your meat right there on the table. You know, less dishes, less bullshit to have to worry about. Well, I swear to God, when this girl got a hold of the pork chops that I made that night, and this isn't even saying anything because I've made pork chops that same way a couple of nights, a couple of times before then too. So this wasn't just a one-off thing. It was just the first night that I'm like, hey, you come here. You watch how I'm doing this because I want you to learn. You're talking about you want to learn. You're talking about you don't know how to do all this. Here we go. That bitch not only fucking ate all of her shit, she wanted to start picking shit off of mine. Well, I want to eat the fat off you. Let me pick all the fat off of you. I'll eat this and I'll eat that. First of all, you don't reach over and just grab somebody's fucking plate. Like, who the fuck and what the fuck are you? Come on. As a second of all, for somebody, why are you putting that on there? We can put that on there. What the fuck you doing that, putting that on? I don't want that on there. You damn sure seem to eat the shit out of it. Just because, they don't know what the fuck they want. And then to have, like I said, after her and I broke up and then seeing that shit on her fucking MySpace, that dude that she ran off to from me, being like, oh, she always makes the best pork chops. Like, I wish that bitch would have made me anything. That bitch ain't never made me a goddamn thing. The thing is, asshole, you wouldn't know what them pork chops tasted like if it wasn't for me teaching her how to make them. Which I know what it is. All of a sudden, here comes a guy she wants to actually fucking be with, and now she'll go the extra mile and learn all the shit that she, and do all the shit she was supposed to do, try to get and keep his fucking attention. With the motherfucker she was actually supposed to be with, the motherfucker that actually taught her a lot of this shit. I ain't shit. So that's what I'm saying, I'm gonna have to be wrapping this up here in a few minutes, but I'm basically what I'm saying, people are full of fucking bullshit. And that's what I can't stand with people, is, just can't stand the way a lot of people act and the way a lot of people, want to treat people. Shit, I probably should be fucking putting... I know there's a lot of people that don't like me and don't agree with a lot of the things I have to say, and I said I got told from somebody the last couple of weeks that I hate women. No, I don't hate women. I just know that at a certain point, you can't turn around and blame everything on one person or one particular party or one particular, Ah, fuck. Just trying to get out of there. You know, but my whole other thing too was, you know, what the guy was talking about and all that, and it's like, you know, the dude knew when it come down to all the stuff I was talking about, you know, the way things are between, you know, people here nowadays and the dynamics and stuff. Like, he knew, and I kind of gave it away a little bit by revealing the gender, sorry. But it became more, all of a sudden it became more of a problem when it came down to, it was one of his family members. So your family member isn't human. So everybody else out in this world is capable of doing all this bad shit. But when it comes down to it being your family member, and your family member with a kid, and your family member with a kid who's a little girl, all of a sudden, they can't do no wrong. It's like, look, at a certain point, you know, let's see what the hell I got here, because I gotta... Let's see, finished goods. Oh, how in the hell I got... 4 goddamn raincoats. Brass shackle. Can be equipped. Rain song. What the fuck? Iron skin potion. That's tombstone. It's a vanity item. Day bloom seeds. Thorn, that's a material. That can be placed. That's a material. Probably should just put these in Myan too, because why not? Water leaf, water mushroom. That should have been put in. I'm back over Myan. What are you doing over Myan? Materials. Gel. Now where's my stone blocks? Put them there. I don't even have enough stucco for anything. Gray brick. Don't worry about that later. But I mean, my big main, you know, of all this stuff is to not try to, oh, I'm like this and you're not, and, you know, I'm not trying to fucking be better than anybody else. What I'm trying to say is, you know, damn it. I just hate we give some people a pass in this society. And allow this bad behavior, and then, you know, the other people, you know, have to adhere to a strict, can't ever do anything because, you know, you don't want to be looked at as a bad person. Damn. Two of them at the same time, and there's one of them up here on the damn hill. So I got, yeah, you know, I got told I hated women, and I got told that, you know, I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm an asshole, and I'm this, and I'm that, because I just want to look at both sides of the equation. You know, what I hate most is people deifying other people. How come somebody in your life can be such a prick to you your whole life, and as soon as they die, oh, well, they were the best, and they were this, and I miss them so much, and they were the best people, and, you know. People in my family do that with my grandparents. I love my grandparents, don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of good memories with them. I love them to death. My grandpa died in 13. My grandma died in 07. But there was a lot of shit that went on. A lot of shit I heard about after the fact. You know. A lot of shit that I realized that actually went on while I was a kid that I didn't realize until after I was old enough to understand. I'm looking back on it going, man, they were kind of some fucked up people. My mom was not that great of a person to be around. Yeah, but I got cousins out there to this day will deify my grandparents like they never did anything. like, wait a goddamn minute here. You know as well as I do some of the shit that was being said and some of the shit that went on, right? Like, most of this stuff's Facebook shit. Like I said, I've had to unfollow, not necessarily unfriend, but I've had to unfollow about, 5, 6 fucking people. I didn't even want back on Facebook. But I knew one that was the only way I was going to end up talking to one of my fucking cousins. Because that's all he seems to have fucking time for. So at least if I send him messages and talk to him through there, at least I'll get some kind of interaction with him. But fucking, he, along with a lot of other people, still want to deify my grandparents. And I'm not. This is where, I'm an equal opportunity offender. Don't get me wrong. I got a lot of problems with my mom. I'm to the point, the hell with my mom. Fuck that shit. I'm to the point, a lot of people would say, oh, that's fucked up. I hate to say, in some way, I'm glad that bitch is gone. Look, it's not that I don't love my mom. It's not that I never loved my mom, because I do. I always fucking have. But it's one of those things where it's like, when that person never really bothered, loving or caring for you like you needed it when you were a kid. Not only that, but they did shit, completely counter. To what should have been done at the time. There's a difference between, oh, I kept you alive, and I had my own mother about 7 years ago or so. 6, 7 years ago. Of course, I'm sorry. Just here lately, I'm not really that enthused over, over the holidays. So maybe later on, I'll get back to, maybe being a little bit more enthused and whatnot. Oh, well, I'm sorry I didn't give you kids the presents you wanted during Christmas. It wasn't about that. It never was about that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of shit I could have bitched about that. Don't get me wrong, there were a couple of Christmases where we had to deal with the welfare and the, the government, whatever, welfare program-ish, Toys for Tots type shit in order to get anything that year. But I wasn't a hard kid to please. That's the funny thing about it. You want to know what I wanted at age like 11, 12? A 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 pack, depending on, who wanted to spend a few extra bucks and whatever, of blank cassette tapes. When I had that computer, a package or so of, 10 or so, 8 to 10 blank computer discs. I wanted colored pencils, crayons, markers, coloring books, sketch paper, maybe a fucking album or so of classic rock or whatever the hell out there, and we're talking like we're talking like mid '90s when Nintendo was already like 10 years old. I mean, we were damn near close to fucking PlayStation at that point in time. Had a lot of people at school. Oh, you go to Video Game Exchange downtown. You can get a Nintendo game for $5. So I told my mom, I'm like, a lot of the kids at school are telling me there's this place called Video Game Exchange downtown. A couple of Nintendo games, you get them for like $5 a piece. Maybe, I guess, 10 if they're a little bit more popular or a little bit more rare, but $5, $10 a piece, you can't beat that. This was right at the sweet spot where it was so old that nobody wanted to play it anymore, but it was still new where it wasn't a rarity. Like, you weren't paying $100 for a goddamn NES cart like you are today. Like, it was, kind of how we're doing PS2, and like PS2's even kind of getting a little hard to like PS3. PS3 probably right now is cheap as shit to collect for because it's new enough where there's still a lot of shit running around out there, but it's old enough where now a lot of people aren't playing it. And a lot of people have done sold and given away and, tossed away their old shit. And that's the sweet spot we were in about 95, 96, 97 was, it's usually about fucking 2 consoles ahead of time. The PlayStation and the Nintendo 60, well, the Nintendo 64 had been out a little while earlier than PlayStation, but it was, pretty well there. The Dreamcast was coming up and here in the States in '99, but we didn't get that till later. Well, the fucking the fucking Saturn was out for a good while before then. We were at a point in Nintendo, and that's what we had was a Nintendo. We didn't have a Super Nintendo, we didn't have a Sega or a Sega Genesis. We had a Nintendo NES, the 85, the front loader, we had the OG, I still wish I'd have had that goddamn Atari from years ago. I don't know why Mom ever fucking gave it away. All it needed was the fucking AC brick, the wart, the thing, fucking redone. That's all it needed was one of them that didn't have a short in it. Because, Sequest was my favorite game on Atari, by far. So, as you can see, I'm trying to build a house here. Trying to build a little bit something better here. I think I'm going to include this, too, as kind of maybe like a garage or like an offshoot or whatever, but I think this is the whole area I'm actually gonna start building shit on. I may have to actually like build some scaffolding in order to fucking. Let's see. Where the fuck was it? There. Didn't switch it. Snowball. Bitch. Ow, bitch. Oh, all of a sudden I smell maple syrup. Yeah. But as I tried to tell her, you know, I said it wasn't the fucking. Well, I'm sorry I didn't get you kids the presents you wanted. See, that wasn't even it. Even though I told her, I said, you could have. If you put up $20 a month out of your welfare check for the both of us, that would have been $240 to spend on the both of us. That would have been $120 to spend on us a piece for Christmas. That would have been way more than enough to get us a video game, $5, $10, $15, $20 video game. And all the frickin' art supplies and whatever, the extra packet or two of colored pencils and crayons and sketch paper and all this other stuff, and me a couple, you know, blank cassette tapes and computer discs and blank whatever, you know, and maybe a couple of, you know, another shirt, a couple of shirts and some shorts or some pants or whatever, pack or underwear or two, you know. No, instead the one year I got fucking G.I. Joes. For some kids, especially my age, some people my age, everybody would have been jumping up and down for joy about, oh, G.I. Joes, yeah, all right, you know, fuck yeah, G.I. Joes. I never played with G.I. Joes. I never had G.I. Joes. I never played with The closest thing I had to G.I. Joes, and I still have it, is a pack of about 150, 200 some cards, where there was a trading card set back in the 80s. I've got a handful of some old 80s shit. I don't have like everything everybody maybe remembered, but I've got some old, you know, trading cards from the fucking 80s and shit that I got a stack. I don't know how high you want to fucking say. Let's say 9, 10 inches tall of nothing but the old classic G.I. Joe from like fucking 87, 88, 89. And each card would be a certain member of either, you know, the Joes or the Cobras or whatever, and it would have their, you know, their picture and this and that on the, you know, on the front doing fucking whatever, and on the back it would have their stats of their age and where they were from and what affiliation they were and what powers they had and blah 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 blah, you know, the standard trading card shit. I said, but you know, I told her, I said, I only got those G.I. Joes and those G.I. Joe trading cards because between my uncle and a friend of mine down the road that had a bunch of them that traded me for something fucking else, I can't even goddamn remember now, if he didn't fucking just give them to me flat out because he knew I had other ones, I wouldn't even have these G.I. Joe cards. Like, when did I ever play with action figures? When did I ever... I played with Matchbox cars. I like the little tracks and the things that do the loop-de-loops, and I had this whole thing where it was like a suitcase, like a briefcase type thing, and it opened up, and it had legs on the back, and it was like this snowy, like, winter, like, little town-ish, where, you know, you can either put the car up on the top, and it went down the S-curve, or, you know, you can go into the little garage, or you can go down kind of the way and go into the restaurant, or go into this and that, whatever. And they had these little plastic, you know, snowball-like type things that you can kind of like an avalanche. You'd put on these certain areas, and you'd put the car up to the top, and you'd let it go, and just as it was kind of coming around, you'd push the button so that the snowballs would release and fall down and hopefully hit the car as it was going down the S-curve. And like, you know, I even my nephew in 2011, my middle nephew Jake, I bought him a Hot Wheels Mega Garage because I know, you know, he liked all the, you know, he had a shitload of, I don't know what the hell happened to most of them he still likes collecting them. When I went down there, I was there a couple of weeks ago, just happened to be around that area, and I bought them some stuff and everything, you know, for their birthdays and whatever. And, you know, he grabbed a couple of different Matchbox cars. It was kind of on a little, like, end cap thing in this fucking area in Walmart somewhere. I said, well, if that's what you want, man, you're more, you know, whatever you want. I just want to make sure you know that, you know, you can get what you want, but once you hit a certain point, like that's, you know, because I'm not made of money, but I mean, I don't care about what it is that you buy. If you buy all video games, if you buy all junk food, if you buy all Matchbox cars, I don't give a shit if you go in the back and buy fucking, you know, $100 worth of condoms. I mean, he ain't that old. You know, I don't care if you buy it all in toilet paper. I don't care if you buy, you want it on the gift card and you want it to just have it to kind of piecemeal it for the rest of the... I don't care. Like, you know, you get what you want. But, you know, yeah, when I was his age, when I was a little bit younger, well, I mean, we're looking at now. He's 14. Yeah, the middle one, he's 14. I'd been out of my Matchbox car phase for a while at that point. I think about 7, 8, 9. I think by 10, I was out of my Matchbox car phase. And, you know, and he probably is too, but there's certain things that he sees that he probably likes. That there's probably some of them now he's not even playing with. He's putting up on a shelf. He's kind of just, you know, dicking around with, and just, oh, okay, well, I'll put this on a shelf, you know, because this looks cool, you know, with some of my other stuff that I want to put up on the shelf that looks cool. That ain't no problem. That ain't no damn problem with that. Yeah, but I told him about a lot of that stuff and everything, and, you know, that's pretty cool and everything, but I tried to tell my mom, though, it's like, look, okay, I had some of the trading cards. I did this, I did that, you know. But I mean, when really, other than, like, as far as action figures or things to play pretend with, as far as, you know, guy things went, boy things, when did I ever play with anything other than Matchbox cars? I don't remember ever having any action figures. I don't remember ever having any G.I. Joes. Maybe there might have been one that somehow or another, you know, wormed its way into my toy box. Either because somebody gave it to me, or somebody left it at the house, or a relative gave it, you know, like just a stray, you know, one, two off kind of thing. Relative kind of handed it to me. Like, I'm like, you know me better than anybody. When did I ever play with G.I. Joes? Like, okay. The most that I ever played with as far as action figures was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had that set back in the early to mid 90s where they talked. But they didn't talk because they didn't have a battery and all the chips and everything in them. They had this little red strip about a foot long that was basically had the waveform molded into the plastic. And when you'd put that bitch in the end of the backpack of it and feed it out the other end where you can grab a finger on it, and then you'd pull it at a certain speed, you could hear it go, "Cowabunga," or "Pizza time," or, you know. I had that set back in the day. Did I really play with it, though? Play with it? No. What was I doing? I was mostly goddamn playing with my sister. It's funny to say, and it's slightly embarrassing, and it's just, I was playing goddamn cat and dog with my goddamn sister. So we never had fucking pets, whatever this and that, and I'll be the kitty, I'll be the doggy, whatever, this and that, meow meow, woof woof, fucking, you know, we had a good old fucking time. Pissed our mom off one time, that shit was fucking funny. I will admit, we probably were fucking playing cat and goddamn dog a lot longer than what we ever should have been as fucking kids. Well, it was funny to hear my mom go, "That's all you kids ever want to do is meow meow and roof roof." And, you know, part of us is like, you're not even doing it right. Like if, you know, you're not doing it the way we do it, and the way we do it is correct, and, you know. We're laughing at you because you ain't even making fun of us correctly. But it was also the kind of the whole thing, you know, as me and her got older. I'm not saying older because, you know, it's been fucking, like, it's been 5 years since I've even bothered to fucking talk to her, but there's a lot of shit going on between then. But we still, I mean, up before then, a little bit, even, you know, like I said, even, what? 'Cause the last time I really talked to her was 2016, and that was when the shit was going on with my mom. So it was even before then I really actually, like, hung out and talked. But I mean, even in like 2003, 2004, 2005, we were looking at each other going, Yeah, that kind of was immature of us to do. And even though that was goddamn funny, the way Mom fucking made fun of us like that and, you know, tried to explain in her own way how it was childish. Even though that shit was funny, like, yeah, we still kind of, you know, somewhat went off the deep end on that, I guess. But look, I don't know if I've told you guys, I know I've told you guys, me and my cousins, my older cousin especially, when we had nothing else to really do and we were kind of hanging out in the yard, in the middle of the yard, in the fucking middle of the country in my grandparents' house, and there was like a fucking like half deflated dollar store ball laying around, or I think it was an old like shitty basketball at one time we had. But, like, I wish we'd have had a gym ball, because a gym ball would have been great, but we didn't have a gym ball. We had one of them dollar store, like, fucking half-deflated shits. You always had the fucking... The ones that came in the big goddamn pit that was, like, fucking 2 stories tall. They had all the netting, and you basically pulled the one out from the bottom and to grab you a ball if you wanted the ball out of it. Like, that type shit. And we always played a game called Can He Catch It? We even had a little theme and a little song and everything. Can he catch it? Can he catch it? Can he catch it? But the whole goal was to throw it up onto the roof of like the shed or the house before we got bitched at about throwing it up on the house. It was basically so you can skip up to the crest of it and have it turn. Because I mean, if you threw it over the house, then you'd have to run over to the other damn side of the house and go get it. So that wasn't the point. It was kind of like squash. If you all know what squash with the old tennis rackets, basically 1-2 per people on the same side of. It's basically, squash is basically tennis with 2 people, with both the people on the same side of the court. And so the one person hits it against the wall, and then the other person hits it back, and when it bounces off the wall, hits it. You guys know what squash is. Well, Can He Catch It was basically squash, but throwing the ball up on the roof and having it skid, just to the peak and come back down the other side and make sure that the other guy beside you can catch it. That was the whole point of Can He Catch It? And so you had to kind of like, do some weird this and that, because once it left your hands and hit that roof, if the dude was over to your right and it skidded off to your left, the dude still had to catch it. So he still had to run across you and get it. That was the whole. I'm summarizing it down to a basic point, but that's what Can He Catch It was just chucking it up there to the roof, trying not to make it go over, but when it went up to the roof and whatever goofy shit it did, and it come back down, the other guy had to catch it and throw it back up there, and then it was the other guy's turn to catch it. That was the whole point of Can He Catch It? Can he catch it? Can he catch it? Can he catch it? If you caught it, yes he can. Can he catch it? Can he catch it? Can he catch it? And if you missed it, no he can't. Like that was the whole point of Can He Catch It? So me and my sister, used to play some shit, and I don't even know if there was ever any rules, because we never really established too much of rules, but we called it Ball Down the Hall. She would get on one end of the hallway, and I'd get on the other end of the hallway, and we'd sit there and sit in the middle of the hallway with each leg up against each wall, you know, so we were spread leg across the whatever, and we would basically take this gym ball, this ball, and it wasn't even a gym ball, whatever the hell ball we had at the time, and we just roll it down the hall at each other. And, you know, for a while it was like, oh, I'll roll it down to you, and you roll it down to me, and you roll it. It was something to kill some fucking time. It was something to, you know, something to do. But then we started, like, bouncing it off the fucking walls and, you know, having it ping, ping, you know, and then try to, like, hit it where it would jump over somebody's leg instead of actually hitting your leg. I mean, there was a point in time, too, where we'd play the game where we'd try to hit each other directly in the crotch, you know. Even though, like, the gym ball wasn't nowhere near as hard or solid, or we were shooting it hard enough to even hurt each other, we'd still try to shove it in each other's crotch. And, you know, when it hit me directly in the crotch, I would say it hit me directly, but of course it never hurt at all. But I would roll over and act like, oh, it hit me in the balls. You know, the ball was so soft, and, you know, the whole thing. But it was the whole sheer, you know, if it had been a harder ball and faster and whatever, and it would have hurt, I actually did concede the, oh, you got me, you know, oh, ow, oh. It was things like that, but I mean, as my sister and I got older, we grew apart, and different things like that kind of, you know, took a trip by the wayside, and we no longer gave a damn about one another, and, you know, see, a lot of the shit that I'm talking about and everything, a lot of the stuff that I'm kind of, you know, stems from my mom. Oh, I'm sorry we didn't get you the toys you wanted. And it's like, you didn't know how me and my sister really were. Like, we knew we were poor. That's the thing. Me and my sister knew we were dirt fucking poor. I like how people, oh, we were poor. We didn't have this and we were fucking poor. I'm sorry, I don't fucking care. We were fucking poor. Like, look, we were so poor that when there was a storm around, we didn't have the luxury to go running out to the fucking grocery store and grabbing milk and bread and eggs and cheese and butter and all this other bullshit, you know, out of the fucking store when we thought there was a storm coming. You want to know why? Because fucking, and I hate to admit it, but I was a welfare kid. My mom got her check at the beginning of every month, and we bought everything we fucking needed for the rest of the month at the beginning of the fucking month. My mom maybe hold $30 or whatever back out of the food stamps we had that month, so that like 2 weeks into the month, she can get another gallon of milk and another carton of eggs, because, you know, there's some things that just go bad real quick. So, you know, loaf of bread, there was always in the middle of the month, there was always another re-up for a loaf of bread and a jug of milk and maybe some butter and some more eggs and maybe, you know, another can or two of whatever vegetables we may have needed, depending on what we ate during the month and depending on what we had in the freezer that we were going to need for the rest of the month and need to eat with it, you know. It always perplexed me that people, oh, there's a big storm coming, oh my god. we've got to stock up on this, and we've got to stock up on that, and we've got to this. And me and my mom, my sister, and everything, and hear, you know, shit about, oh, well, you know, there's a big-ass storm coming. Okay, oh, well. Like, you know, I guess we got food, and, you know, it was what? 92. There was the storm of 92 that we had. I think it was 92 going into 93 was probably when that was. I'm gonna have to empty a lot of shit out in here and then fucking get ready to fucking log off. Okay, we were actually snowed in. This is the thing. We were actually snowed in to the house that we lived in. Like, I am not shitting you. I gotta put that here. My grandpa had to come. My grandpa had to come from his place, from where they lived and all that. They had to. How many of these do I got? Rotten chunk. Oh well, I'll leave a lot of the rest of this. Let me put these banners up. I'm about done. My grandpa had to drive out like 20 miles or so to where they live, you know, from where they lived at, to basically come to where we lived at and basically had to shovel us out. And even at the time, he was almost 50. This was back in 92, so come on, fucking put the goddamn banner up here. There we go. Fuck. Probably still already got another banner up here, but whatever. So got Demon Eye, Blue Slime, Zombie, Green. I could probably take that one zombie one down later and put it somewhere. But that man basically had to, at 50-some years old, which, I mean, he's young, but it ain't that young. He wasn't that young. We were already snowed in this place for like 2 days at least. It was like two or three days. Now, luckily, my mom had just got her food stamps and everything that month, and we went down the road, you know, to the grocery store and everything. We stocked up, so we didn't have to go anywhere. We had plenty of food. We had plenty of, you know, toilet paper. We had plenty of toiletries. We had plenty of everything. We had plenty of this, plenty of that. You know, we had plenty of everything. But my mom was concerned about what if one of the kids, I don't know, trips over something and, you know, impales their head, or I don't know, just, you know, what if one of us, you know, screws up and has to go to the hospital? After about 3 days, my mom was starting to get concerned, like, you know, I don't want nothing to happen to my kids, but you know how kids are, and, you know, what if something happens and I need to take one of them to the hospital and I can't get to the hospital? And so my grandpa had to come out there with a single snow shovel. He come up there in his pickup truck. I think that was the 4-wheel drive he had at the time, even though it was, it wasn't like a big Jeep. It was still, I think it was like a Chevy F-150 or something, or a Chevy F-100. It wasn't diesel. I think the truck he had at the time was still big enough to have like dual gas tanks. But it wasn't like, wasn't a big, like, dually, it wasn't a big ass fucking truck. And he come up there and he was able to get up to where we were at. And he had to shovel out the back door because all the snow had done fell down and, you know, froze the back door shut. And the front door got up all up on the deck and the porch and froze that all up. But our concern was not, oh, we're going to run out of food. We ain't going to be able to live. My mom's concern was, what if one of these kids, you know, runs around the house and impales their head on a fucking, you know, on a fucking candlestick or some shit, you know? What if one of these kids runs around here and cracks their damn dome on the toilet seat, you know? Like, you know, we kind of need to have everything, you know, out and in the way so that if something does happen to one of these kids, we can, you know, run to the hospital if we need to. It always puzzled me how people, oh my god, I ain't got no room for this. I ain't got no, you know, we ain't got no, we ain't got no food here. We ain't got this. We ain't got that. Why not? Why not? My grandparents, I mean, I'm sorry, you know, my grandparents, maybe not everybody would have this, but I mean, at least somewhat of something. You need to have some kind of backup for something. But my grandparents had a fucking, like a small shed, like they called the dairy, cut out of the side of a hill. Basically, they called it a mountain, but it was kind of a foothill or a ridge of the mountain, of the greater mountain. They called it the dairy. There was shit that was canned in there from fucking almost as or before I was fucking born. I'm looking in there seeing shit that's canned in fucking like the 80s. The early 80s, fucking late 70s. Like, where the fuck did this shit come from? Apparently my great-grandparents done canned that shit a long damn time ago. I gotta ask my ain't this stuff bad? Oh, if you keep it in this dairy and it's nice and cool in the summertime, it still stays in like the 50s, 60s down here. And in the wintertime, it still stays in the 50s, 60s because it's built into the side of a hill. Okay. They'd buy, at some point in time, they'd buy potatoes in bulk. Like, I mean, 50, 100, 200, you know, pounds a piece, pound bags, pound sacks, whatever, and put them in that place. A couple of years, they had them growing in their garden, and they'd have a friend of theirs who had a tractor come plow them all up and have us kids pull them out and chuck them in baskets, and then the older of us, you know, the whether older women or the older men would take the baskets and dump them in these big ass containers, these big, you know, gaylords, these big, you know, tubs, whatever. And they'd taken, you know, whatever, whoever had their tractor would take whatever forks or whatever, lift it up and push that bitch onto the door and push that bitch on in that dairy, as they called it. We had taters all year. We had vegetables all year. My grandparents used to keep at least 2 big-ass fucking chest freezers full of shit. Fucking deer meat, anything they had on sale, fucking, you know, any other thing that somebody gave them, anything that they found a good deal on, they'd buy in bulk. I mean, anything. We had food. we fucking had food. And it just always kind of gets me how people, I don't know. I don't know how bitching about, you know, we didn't get you kids the things. I'm sorry I didn't get you kids the things you wanted. Well, maybe you and your boyfriend, husband, whatever at the time shouldn't have been arguing and throwing shit and carrying on and making the holidays worse for us. Because I'd have just been, I could have told you, I'd have just been happy with some couple of fucking packs of blank cassette tapes and some art materials and, you know. I was a little bit upset at the time because it was more of a gag gift between relatives than anything. Oh, you got underwear. My grandparents would always do this shit. Santa Claus done brought you a pack of underwear. Oh, thanks, Nanny Pie. Yeah, thanks, Santa Claus. Yeah. Fucking pack of underwear, that's just what I wanted. Oh, but take a look inside. Yeah, they done like cut whatever, like a little slit, and put like a $5 bill or a $10 bill down in the fucking, you know, look at Santa Claus done left in your underwear. And it was like, oh, ha ha, you know, there's a $5 bill, there's a $10 bill there. Oh, ha ha, yeah, it's underwear, but then Santa left a little something extra for, okay. Oh, ha ha, that's funny. Like, you know. But I mean, you know, like I said, nowadays, I mean, fuck. If anybody were to buy me anything for Christmas, I'd love fucking clothes. I'd love regular t-shirts. Fucking couple of pairs of fucking underwear, a pack of socks, fucking, you know, a blanket or whatever, you know, whatever. Like, fucking, I ain't picky, but my whole thing back then was, get me art supplies, get me blank cassette tapes, get me blank, you know, computer discs so that I can, like, write documents and make stuff and draw pictures and have places and things to save them on. So the first computer I had only had 12 megabytes. Only had 12 megabytes of storage. 12 megabytes, that was it. 12 megs. I think finally my second one had about 24, 25. And then my third one after that, I think, had about 40. My very first computer had 12 megs. 12 megs of fucking storage. The fucking hard drive only held like 12 megs of fucking storage. And that was okay when your cousin come over and he wanted to write a limerick or two that he heard from school, or, you know, write out the fucking lyrics for a Pantera song or whatever that he heard. But I mean, okay, come on, save and exit. Yeah. But I mean, you know, it was just one of those things where there was only so much storage and so much time and whatever, and plus I would go to, you know, sneak around in the computer labs at school and whatever and find extra shit to download, so I had different images and icons and maybe another game or two, you know. I mean, it was just a lot of shit. Oh, I'm sorry I never got you kids the presents you wanted. I'm like, there's a difference between what we wanted, what we would have accepted, and what you knew you could afford. Like, you know, we wanted brand new video game systems and TVs in our room and all. That's what we wanted, but we knew you couldn't afford it. So it was, you know, we knew what you could afford, what we wanted compared to what you could have afforded, and you still never, like, you know. I think I need to let up on that because Basically, what I'm saying is don't deify the dead because they've done a lot of shit in life that you would disagree with. Don't let the fact that they're dead blind you from the fact that they've probably done some fucked up shit in their life. And probably done some fucked up shit in their life to you. And if you really, 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 really can fucking prove that they never did anything fucked up to you in their in life, you're lucky. You're goddamn lucky. And all I'm saying is, it doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that don't deify them. Don't put them 16 fucking stories above everybody else because, oh my god, they're dead now. I love my mom, but fuck her. No, that's so mean. That's so... Fuck her. I don't care. She didn't give a shit about me half when she was alive. She only started giving a shit about me when she knew she needed me. I can come up with as much funny shit and whatever, you know, and goofy shit and shit I appreciate about her. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to keep shit clean. She taught me, she taught me a lot about life. She taught me so much about how to live on my own that I can only do but live on my own now. I can't even depend on anybody. I can't even live with anybody. Because I know how to do so much shit on my own. Like, why do I need anybody? This went way longer than I wanted it to. This went way the fuck longer. Like I said, you know, and this is the one thing that I've been told, if I have to give you any kind of advice to wrap up anything on this, and I'll tell you, and I've probably told you before, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you don't feel that it's right, don't do it. If there's something going on in a certain situation and you think it's wrong or you think there's something going, don't do it. Don't follow through with it. Don't, you know, and don't be apologetic over it either. No, I ain't doing that. I ain't going here. I ain't taking you here. I'm sorry. If you want to go there, you can go there, but you ain't going there. I ain't taking you there. Screw what other people think. Screw all the shaming, because most of the time people will shame you to try to get what they want out of you. You're not a true friend. Well, I would help you if this... Well, I'm sorry. The thing is, if I were in your situation and you were in mine, I'd probably try to find a different way to go about it then than to try to, you know, pull my best friend into a bunch of this stuff. I mean, if you could find... If you really wanted something, if you really... You know, you'd find a way to do it, or you'd deal with it. So, you know. I know it's probably all over the place and incoherent, and I'm still talking and fucking, you know, shut up, Mike. Shut up, Craig. I'm cutting this. I'm cutting it off. Exit. You see the exit? All right. Muting that. All right. So, yes, I'm an asshole, but I'm a fair asshole. So, debate me all you want. You know where you can find me. Talk to me. You see the shit in the below. Message me or whatever. You know, send me a comment. I'll gladly fucking talk to anybody. But those of you who know me, and you know how I am. So hopefully this will last for a couple of days. All right, I'm out. Shut the fuck up, Mike. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it, and take care. And I shall see you all later. This has been Conspicuously Incredible Gaming with your host, Mike. If you like this content, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share with your friends, do all the things. It really helps. Also, check the links down below for the places I stream at when I do stream at, and as soon as I get them up and ready and really start working on them, check below for the places that I'm archiving at when I do archive, and make sure to keep everything, available for everybody. You'll see those there. Also, check the links down below for Streamlabs if you'd like to donate $1 or two, and if not, that's fine. I just appreciate the view and the interaction, and the hullabaloo. I mean, we'd all like to make a little bit of money for whatever, but it's not a 100% priority for me. It's I'm just throwing myself out there, and whatever happens happens. There's Discord too. That I would kind of like everybody to join, because you can talk with me, you can talk with all the other people that watch, you can whatever like that. And then there's links below for people who have contributed different things over the years, who have done this and that, and artwork and different other things, and basically my regulars too. Just go ahead and jump in and talk to them, and see how they're doing and see what they're going on. And if you hope you like their content too. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Take care and have a good 4. Conspicuously Incredible Gaming is a conspicuously incredible production. Conspicuously Incredible.com.